All right, so two really important discoveries. Two people who, are they're one of us. Okay, they're not shills. However, they're in a they've done things that make people want to call them shills. Okay, because they uncovered the truth. Now there is going to be a movement to, connect them to shillery. Okay. So the first one, Ptolemy. He says the universe is geocentric, and this motherfucker is Adam. Okay? He's Admael. He's the angel of Sardis, one of the 7 holy spirits of God. He's right. Okay? Now you have Nyarlathotep come in. I mean, I've already talked about this, but Nyarlathotep come in. We know who he is. And, oh, no, it's heliocentric. Oh. And everybody's going to believe him. Because all y'all got your heads so far up your own ass. Yeah. So that's one person that's been vindicated and proven to be right. Okay, we already covered that. Now, this next person who is going to get their vindication is Zechariah Sitchin. Okay, somebody who was able to translate all these ancient Sumerian cuneiform text or whatever. Yeah. And so, you got a lot of people calling him a shill. Okay. Now, the reason they're calling him a shill is because his information is correct. If he was full of shit, you probably wouldn't have people calling him a shill. I mean, I would be, but people in the mainstream wouldn't be calling him a shill. So, yeah, so they're saying, I forget exactly what it was they were saying about him, but basically, that he's wrong. And I guess he just made it all up. And so he has been exposed as Calliope, a ancient Greek god of epic poetry. Okay, so right there, so Calliope is John Levi on YouTube. Okay, somebody who is like the most unshill person. Like his whole nature, his whole essence is like an anti-shill. Like everything he does is like, other than like getting as many views as he does and subs and views and shit, but everything he does to me, the things he talks about, exposes, all that, it just is so unshill-like. He's been leading the charge here with all this forbidden history and all this stuff for quite a while. He's been on the vanguard, the front lines, with all this stuff for years now. He's got his little dog and his cat, and doesn't have a lot of money, and he's, it's just like, this guy's not a shill, man. So I say all that to say that this stuff that he, translated, these Sumerian texts that he's decoded or whatever, they say some really interesting things. Okay, a lot of the things they're saying are like what I've been saying. For instance, one of the things is that nothing that happens on the surface worlds is something that didn't come from the underworld. Is something that wasn't inspired or started or whatever in the underworld. Okay, so they're extreme. All that stuff is extremely connected to the underworld. I think their kings used to live for 300 years. Or this is before the flood. Their kings used to live for 300 years and shit. And so just a huge wealth of knowledge to be gained from all that, especially, when it comes to things like creating humans. They do a lot of that. The genesis of man, and how things were ruled. They were ruled by the Anunnaki. So they were ruled essentially by Yog-Sothoth. So you had these gods basically working for Enki and Enlil, who's Saturn and Perun, who we know are two of the three unclean spirits, two of the three motherfuckers that will burn for 1,000 years, along with Nyx. But yeah, they were the gods there, but really it was getting run by the Anunnaki, who we know are vampires, and Yog-Sothoth and all this type of shit. So that's interesting because it's kind of, where the world is now as we continue to go back into the past. That's where they want us to be. They want us to be in a Sumerian type of situation, where the only gods that we have are, these fake ass gods, and it's really ran by these Anunnaki, this Yog-Sothoth, AI, male porn stars, vampires, the list goes on. So anyways, yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there. These two people, Claudius Ptolemy, and this motherfucker right here, Zechariah Sitchin. They are not shills. They are groundbreaking. They are revolutionary. And it's not, this is not a joke. The shit that they put out there, well, it's not shit. The stuff that they put out there is for real. And it has a lot of implications on where we're at right now in the world. So, so Zechariah Sitchin, he's just like, yo, if he was one of us from the early days, you know what I mean? He was probably somebody you heard about and you looked into. And then you had so many shills running around, you were like, maybe he's one of these shills too, David Icke and Alex Jones and all this crap. But no, he doesn't bear their expression. He bears the expression of Calliope, and is somebody to be taken seriously, somebody to be respected as an entity who has not given in to Azathoth and them, at least as far as I can tell. If he did, then, bravo, because you really, you fooled me. And I just don't think that anybody can fool me at this point, really, but I don't know, we'll see. So,